A white oak tree looks dead in the first few years of its life. This is odd compared to other plants that seem to look alive from the moment it spurts out of the seed. But there is a reason why this is. In those initial crucial years, white oak trees are expending all their energy on creating a deep and diverse root system. Their survival is essentially dependent on their roots. With a deep and strong root structure, they can withstand heavy winds, prevent soil erosion, and reach deep into the soil to find water and nutrients. A robust white oak tree can stand the test of time because of its roots. We too need strong roots when withstanding life's never-ending blows, but psychological roots. It's all of the experiences that have given you life lessons. However, psychological roots can only develop when we accept the painful parts of life. The positive aspects of life are not as eye-opening compared to the heartbreaking moments. But the painful moments, that's where mankind gets his wisdom. As it's said in Aeschylus' play Agamemnon, Zeus, whose will has marked for man the sole way where wisdom lies, ordered one eternal plan. Man must suffer to be wise. Whereas only accepting the positive things in life without the negatives is akin to ignoring reality. The painful parts of life are crucial to building an authentic life. In that process of building an authentic life, you realize that those problematic, emotional, turmoil days are the ones that make you stronger. Like those corny Instagram posts say, what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. But that's too corny for me. And let's get a little more classical. Accepting all the pain in your life will naturally help you build a heroic mindset, where you will not shy away from any obstacle in life. All the pain makes you realize how much personal power you have, and that although you may feel pain, you will survive and can still move forward. Another classical example. After the 10-year siege of Troy, Odysseus was able to get on his way home. But due to the gods, it took him another 10 years of turmoil and heartbreak to find his home. And he uttered the following words, which show the mindset I'm talking about. Yet, it is true, each day I long for home, long for the sight of home. If any god has marked me out again for shipwreck, my tough heart can undergo it. What hardship have I not long since endured, at sea, in battle? Let the trial come. When we don't accept the pain in our lives, we are making ourselves fragile. We get caught up in the illusions of thinking everything should be in a specific and positive way. And when those illusions are shattered, it comes at the cost of the person's well-being. We have to be honest with ourselves. Life is tough, but that's no excuse not to see reality and accept it. Because when you receive life with all its pain, you will naturally become a beautiful and mature person. There is something about suffering that makes man appreciate life more earnestly, where they understand poetry, love, and nobility. But let me find another person who can explain this better. The most beautiful people we have known are those who have known defeat, known suffering, known struggle, known loss, and have found their way out of the depths. These persons have an appreciation, a sensitivity, and an understanding of life that fills them with compassion, gentleness, and a deep loving concern. Beautiful people do not just happen. The beautiful people Elizabeth describes are rare because not too many people want to come out of all those sufferings. Yet, they end up suffering more since they don't want to embrace the pain. As the saying goes, the only way to escape hell is to go through it. Countless stories in literature have the protagonists go through hell only to become wiser, mature, and heroic. And it reminds us that we must go through our own personal hells to fulfill our potential as human beings. However, how do we accept the pain? Just like I said moments ago, we have to go through hell. And with pain, we have to let the pain go through us without distraction. When we feel uncomfortable emotions or pain, we have to feel it in our bodies. And if you've been running away from the pain for a while, this might be hard. But I have a particular method given to me by my therapist years ago. It's called the RAIN method. And in the first comment below, there's a link to it so you can get a more in-depth look. But here's the Cliff Notes version. Recognize the uncomfortable emotion. Accept and acknowledge the emotion. Investigate the inner experience of the emotion. Non-identify with the feelings means you won't let these feelings define you. The more you do the RAIN method, the less the pain affects you. It's like getting your reps in, which gets easier over time. And even though this might get easier with time, don't forget to reflect on the pain and try to see what the lesson is, because this is where you will find those hidden gems of wisdom that will help your life. This is what makes the pain worth it in the end. On top of all that, remember to accept full responsibility for your life. When we realize our own power in our own lives, we must also acknowledge responsibility. When you understand this, you will avoid making the same mistakes that brought on so much pain. So as you move forward in life, you will make wiser decisions and prevent errors from a mile away. Yet, some might think going through the pain is not worth the trouble. I understand the reservations. Who wants to suffer, especially willingly? It seems better to get a band-aid solution and move on with as little pain as possible. But here's the thing. Sooner or later, we will suffer in life. And it's better to be heroic and accept the pains that come in life. The other option is passive suffering, which leads to a pathetic existence. Passive suffering is when people refuse to admit the pain in their lives but still get hurt, which is double the pain because they feel the delayed pain even more intensely. In the short term, things look okay, but slowly, over time, the pain accumulates and overwhelms the person, and in some cases, it even destroys them. A prime example is Willie Lawman. Willie Lawman is a protagonist in the death of a salesman. Willie is 63 years old and still believes in the American dream. If he works hard and smiles, he'll come away winning. However, times have changed, and those things no longer lead to success. But Willie refuses to believe in this change. He can't accept the pain that times are different and that he is no longer as valuable as he thought. So he ignores the pain and lives through his illusions. Until reality's pain becomes so overwhelming, he has to kill himself. On the other hand, we have Oedipus Rex. As most of us know, this man unknowingly killed his father and married his mother. When he realizes the truth, Oedipus accepts it and exiles himself away from civilization. In the eyes of his people, Oedipus is a detestable creature. Oedipus accepts the reality of his painful existence. He doesn't shy away, and he bears all the burdens that come with it. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard not to feel bad for Oedipus. But Oedipus is noble for accepting his life. And at the end of his life, he is redeemed by the gods and finds his place with them. Not to get too philosophical, but what makes Oedipus noble and Willie pathetic is that one accepts the pain of life and the other ignores it. I'm sure you can think of personal examples where you know people who have character and you know others who are disillusioned cornballs. And if I'm being honest, it doesn't take much to become a disillusioned cornball when we make this one mistake in accepting pain. When we learn the value of pain, it's easy to feel enthusiastic, where we tell life to bring it on. But when shit gets real and the pain sets in, we can unconsciously inhibit the painful feelings. How so? By us using any form of distraction when the pain sets in. Sometimes these habits are so ingrained in us that we don't even know them. For example, it's like how people go on their phones when they're by themselves in a crowd, because they don't want to feel the awkward tension of being alone and not knowing anybody. Well, the same happens to us in our own ways. When pain or some uncomfortable emotion sets in, we either do one of the following: aimlessly browse the internet, game for hours, jerk off, consume pointless content. I'm sure there's so much more, but each person has a way of inhibiting themselves. So we must be a little more diligent when we feel uncomfortable. Instead of letting ourselves interfere with the feelings, we must be conscious of handling them. It will be challenging at first, but it's achievable. Just as achievable as me wrapping this video up. To develop psychological roots, we need to accept the painful parts of life. The painful parts of life are crucial to our growth and maturity as it teaches us life's lessons. Another thing that happens when you accept pain in life is developing a heroic mindset and becoming a beautiful and mature person. To accept pain, you need to let the emotions go through you, and this can be done via the RAIN method. Reflect and take full responsibility for your life to find the lessons from your pain. Follow the example of Oedipus and not Willie Lawman. A common mistake is to unknowingly inhibit ourselves from pain. We must be self-aware to know how we inhibit ourselves to stop it and accept the uncomfortable feelings. In the modern day, we tend to avoid pain, whether it's avoiding conflict, uncomfortable conversations, etc. Yet, Those are the moments that give us growth, opportunities for courage, and so much more. Yet, when we ignore those painful moments, we stay stuck with our undeveloped selves. Funny enough, looking at heroes from fiction and history, they all had to go through their personal hell to reach their legendary status. And we can say that their psychological roots are just as deep as the roots of the white oak. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you again for watching. Please don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter, and guys, remember, you're not just any type of nerd, you're a charismatic nerd.